We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Let the cook up continue. I got more to say, a whole lot more. There's something that's not really making sense to me. So I figured, what better way than to monetize it and make a video? Now, let me start off with the disclaimer. And this is some people who don't know what's going on or whatever. Short story condensed. The Haneys have decided to take shots at Boxing Ego, right? I've already spoke about it. Check that content out. No problem. I don't really care if people have a different view or whatever, but the thing that I won't tolerate is I don't like a liar. If a person says Ego is not my cup of tea, I don't like his personality, his jokes aren't funny, anything like that. I mean, I guess at best that's subjective, but telling the truth isn't. Either you're doing it right and telling the truth and being honest, or you're not. So when it comes to anybody, this is not just to the Haneys, anybody trying to devalue my brand, that's why I draw a hard line in the sand, because I've worked too hard for my surname. I've worked too hard for my brand name, my business name, and what I stand for and what I represent. I don't tolerate that. So if the Haneys is trying to throw dirt and mudslide on my name, then game on. So you give what you give and you get what you get. Let's go. So Devin Haney went to the UK. I've already talked about that. Kind of weird. You're not a UK fighter. I can't foresee you fighting a UK fighter that makes sense. So just like, why? We know Turki had the ring awards and all that. And as a result, you know, Devin, it did come out that he was linking up with Turki to discuss maybe another option. And me being a deep thinker, I put it perfectly on my Twitter. So I'm just going to read it. And all I ask is for a fair trial. I'm going to speak these words that I wrote out. I'm going to tell you what doesn't make sense. Because the Haneyacks, they just say, oh, you're stupid, shut up, you just mad, you know, stuff like that. We don't play those games. If you going to prove me wrong, you have to do it with some level of intelligence. Use your big boy words, right? So without further ado, I'm going to tell you what doesn't make sense. I said the Haneys' lies are glaring, but some of y'all don't be paying attention. Devin Haney posted, and I have the receipts. See, a lot of people talk about it, but they don't show you. I show you the receipts so you guys can understand the train of thought. All I ask is for a fair trial and follow along with what I'm saying. Devin posted a picture a week ago that claimed he was back in March and he was flexing, right? And I'm just going to show you because it's easier that way. I am a content creator, so of course I made content about this. Devin says he is back. There's the picture that Devin Haney posted, which that's why I like to include the receipts in the visual age. And he says, March, I'm back. March, I'm back. You see it. I highlighted it. I put an arrow. I know you can see this. Devin Haney posted to his social. And I even put, Devin Haney says he's back in March. BLK Prime seems to repost and cosign, which we'll get into in a second. So we're clear there that I posted this 6 days ago. So we'll just say a week. Everyone's clear. Devin posted to his socials saying, I'm back in March, right? March, I'm back. You guys can see that. And apologize. We got to take the baby steps. Because again, if you guys are saying I'm lying like the Haneys, then we got to cover all bases. So I posted this. Devin Haney says he will return March 2025, BLK Prime post a message too, right? 6 days ago. We're all on the same page. Amazing. So Devin said he was back in March. So this is where it gets fishy. When he posted that, reports and rumors came out that his next fight was going to be on BLK Prime, BBL Prime app. Immediately, fans reacted to the news and said, man, Ryan really hurt your career, and laughed at it because, you know, we know BLK Prime is not a big app. It's not a well-known app. It's not a top-tier app. And Devin went from dazn pay-per-views with Ryan, Lomachenko pay-per-view with ESPN, Regis pay-per-view on dazn, to possibly going to this app, right? So the BLK Prime option was laughed at by fans as an indication that Haney's stock had dropped. This is where it really gets funny. Pay attention. This is where I really got off on y'all. A week later, after all this BLK Prime jazz, a week later, Devin is in the UK with the open media workout, and he's doing he's doing interviews with boxing channels saying that he's also in town to discuss a fight, a potential fight with Turki Al-Sheikh for Riyadh season. And they even posted a picture of Devin Haney with Turki and Bill Haney, right? Which was on Friday. So that is the chronological order. Devin posted that he's back in March on all of his socials. BLK Prime seemed to co-sign. Your boy Ego reported the news because the Haney said I'm fake news. I reported the news as to what was going on. Everything's timestamped. A week later, after this poor feedback for the BLK fight, right, or the option, Devin said he's talking to Turki and doing a meeting with Turki. But why was BLK Prime posting that? Right? Hold on. Keep going. So a week later, Devin's in the UK saying he set up a meeting with Turki to discuss a potential fight on Friday. On Friday. With BLK Prime deal looming in the background, like saying that's also an option. And here it is. This is Devin Haney, Boxing News Plus. They did an interview, and this person quoted it. It says, Devin Haney on his next fight. Quote, I am here. It says, I am here to meet with Turki Al-Sheikh to see if we can make something happen. I got an offer from BLK Prime to do a fight in March, and it's possible, but I'm here to try and make a deal with Turki. You guys see this? Because I don't want to get called a fake reporter by the Haneys. That's why I'm doing baby steps and going slow. I got an offer from BLK Prime to do a fight in March, and it's possible, but I'm here, like in the UK, to try to make a deal with Turki. For starters, that is disrespectful to BLK Prime. If you already had an offer from them and nobody else was really touching you. We hadn't heard of Eddie Hearn after the Liam Paro fight offering anything to Devin. Bob Arum offered Sandor Martin. Devin gave up his WBC belt rather than to fight Sandor Martin. Teofimo and Bob Arum said they sent Devin an offer and he didn't take it, right? So the other big promoters, we never heard you linking up with Al Heyman, PBC. I have some context within the PBC. Nobody ever told me that Devin and his dad went to PBC trying to make a fight. So to me, it's kind of bad business. Devin's position, it was clear, at least to me, that his stock has been impacted. The lawsuit, the Ryan fight, decisions made, carnival fights, all that. It was clear that his brand has been hit. BLK Prime is throwing you a lifeline, and you're going to the UK, leaving the country, America, where you live, and going to the UK saying the BLK Prime fight in March is possible, but I'm here to try to make a deal with Turki. So it's like the Haneys think that they're more pertinent than they are. Delusions of grandeur, if you will. And to me, the reason I'm saying disrespectful is BLK Prime was one of the only people willing to show you, love on your comeback fight. And you're kind of backdooring them and treating them like they're a revolving door, like that offer is just going to be open. I don't know. I don't work for BLK Prime, but I heard they might get Wilder in his next fight. So who knows? People in business, sometimes you got to strike while the iron's hot. Devin Haney, to me, his brand is not in the point like where you're a Canelo and then these people are going to just keep waiting and waiting and waiting for you. They probably have to move on with business. So it seems a bit weird that you're so clearly and openly shopping deals, right? Shopping deals, even though BLK Prime offered you something to the point where you said you were back in March, right? Which is what I showed you, back in March, and they reposted it. See? BLK Prime says, see you March 2025. So this is why people reported and felt like, okay, Devin's going to BLK Prime. So when Boxing Ego said what I said is like Devin's in between a rock and a hard place, it seems like that. Because now, why are you in the UK begging Turkey when it sounds like you had a deal in place? But let me keep going. Let me keep going. And I'm going to really button this up for you and put this to bed. So Devin said back in March, BLK Prime, people laughed and made fun, like, why is Devin on BLK Prime, blah, blah, blah. A week later, he said he's linking with Turkey. So here's my question. This is the best part. So my question is, how was Devin Haney able to confirm a week ago when he posted, I'll see you in March, or I'm back in March? How was he able to confirm that he was back in March if the meeting with Turki Al-Sheikh hadn't yet taken place? Slow it down. Some people, they might, Ego, I don't get it. So let me give it a pullback. My question is, Devin posted a week ago that he's back in March. How could he have known that if a week later he's in the UK meeting with Turkey and the meeting had never happened yet? Last week was last week. Friday was yesterday. So how can you say you were back in March, but then miraculously you haven't even completed all your negotiations if you said you're meeting with Turkey a week later? This doesn't make sense. It gets better. So clearly, to do a deal with Turkey in Riyadh season, Turkey would have to put up the bread. Furthermore, Turkey is a Muslim, and most of his events are going kind of back in the direction of Saudi Arabia. Turkey's a Muslim, and the whole month of March is Ramadan. Simple Google search will show you. This year, 2025, Ramadan starts Friday, February 28th to March 29th, 2025. This is when Ramadan. So when Devin posted, hey, I'm back in March, if you weren't planning on being on BLK Prime and you hadn't yet taken the Turki Al-Sheikh meeting, and now that we know that March, the whole month of March is Ramadan, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but Turkey being a Muslim, who's to say that he wants to schedule in the holy month a fight for Devin Haney to come back to Saudi Arabia, right, during the holy month? That don't make sense, right? So Turkey being a Muslim in March. So why did Devin Haney say he was coming back in March? Again, why did Devin Haney say he was back in March when March is observing Ramadan and he had yet to speak to Turkey? He hadn't spoke to Turkey until they took the picture yesterday. So what prompted you to post the picture saying you're back in March? Again, these are the lies. These are the lies. Who does this? Gen Z is terrible, bro. They are terrible in boxing. Prematurely putting out stuff that You haven't even got all your ducks in a row. There was no reason to post a shirtless picture saying, March, I'm back, if you haven't accepted the deal, your opponent hasn't accepted the deal, and it wasn't ready to go, right? If you still had a meeting a week later in the UK with Turki, and I told y'all to leave me alone, because now we're going to see how well I do my job. You know I'm surgical with this bit. Jake, you know I'm surgical with this bit. You know this doesn't make sense. So if you hadn't yet done the meeting with Turki, because you weren't in the UK for the Ring Awards, and March is the holy month of Ramadan, then how could you ensure that you were fighting in March? Because Turki's putting up the bread. What if Turki is like, yo, I'm not doing no fights in Saudi Arabia during the holy month of March. I want to fight in April. I want to fight in May or December. You know what I mean? Who knows? So Devin Haney's post was either a lie, it was premature. Something is not adding up here. And I've already illustrated why. You can't say if you weren't taking the BLK Prime deal, then and you hadn't done the meeting with Turki. So for me, the only thing that makes sense is that Devin Haney received a real offer from BLK Prime, and that was for March. Henceforth, why BLK Prime posted that Devin was going to be there March 2025 on BLK Prime, which was basically co-signing his picture, right? And what makes sense to me is BLK Prime really sent you an offer. They were trying to do business with you, maybe still are. And possibly Devin got cold feet because of either the offer, the money wasn't to his liking. So maybe he's like, let me see if Turki can match this, or I'd rather fight on Riyadh season, anything in that realm. I'd rather fight on Riyadh season, or I'd rather do a fight with Turki. I'd rather not, maybe because the poor reception when word came out that you could be on BLK Prime. Maybe you're getting cold feet and like, I don't want to be on that app. I'd much rather stay on dazn and have Turki front the bill. So maybe he did a last ditch effort to explore, you know, a deal with Turki during the Ring Awards. So either way, you're trapped because I've already documented everything that went on because I'm a content creator. 7 days ago, you said you were back in March. How could you have possibly known that if you were still taking meetings? You said you were back in March. How could you possibly ensure that to the point where you posted that photo saying you're back? Unless the only thing that makes sense is maybe you were going to take the BLK Prime deal and you backed off of it, or your dad or whoever thought of another, man, let's just hit Turki up and go to the UK. Something is not adding up. And again, I'm not a Haney, so I don't know what they did, but either way, it doesn't make sense. Because there's no way you would have been able, prior to sitting down with the person who does all the Riyadh season stuff, Turki, a week before, you were able to confirm when you were coming back. And you coming back, how could you guarantee that you were going to come back in the breadwinner's Muslim during the holy month? Who's to say that he even wants that? So for me, I feel like Turki, you kind of got to do whatever he says. He's putting up the money and he's running the show and calling the shots. So I don't know, man. It's going to be real interesting to see Devin Haney's next move. I will tell you that, Jack, because he says, and again, I want to stress this because for me, I think this is also potentially bad business if you're stringing BLK Prime along when they offered you whatever they offered you and whatever fight they offered you, to the point where you guys felt almost compelled to prematurely announce it. Then now you're like, oh, hold on, keep my offer there, but I'm going to fly to the UK and go talk to a whole nother separate entity, Turki Al-Sheikh, and maybe do a deal with him. So keep that offer warm for me, BLK Prime. That March, whatever you guys discussed, because he told you right here, I got an offer from BLK Prime to do a fight in March, right? And it's possible. But I'm here to try to make a deal with Turki. For me, if I was BLK Prime, I'd be like, man, we worried about Deontay Wilder. Your stock is hit. You probably won a lot of money, and you are willing to potentially backdoor us, and you're not the face of boxing like a Canelo, a Gervonta Davis. Like, I can understand if Top Rank, PBC, and DAZN are vying for Canelo on their platform, you're going to give him a little bit of time to go and make his decision and pick where he's going to be, because you really want him on your platform, so you don't want to ruin that. But a person in the position of Devin, I feel like you're in a different boat. You kind of, I told you there was options, but there were complications with the options based on where his stock was. So I still feel everything I said was true, because it's not making sense chronologically. How can you say you're back in March if you hadn't even met with Turki? That doesn't make sense, because there's no way you can confirm prior to the meeting where you discuss business that that's the date that he wanted, if you haven't even worked over and sorted the particulars. And the additional caveat is it's during the holy month of Ramadan. So I would imagine Turki probably doesn't want to do a fight during March for that reason, being a Muslim man. I'm too good, bro. That's why Turki has this stacked card at the very end of February, but just before Ramadan starts. So Turki's card is February 22nd, and Ramadan starts Friday, February 28th. So Turki, being a Muslim, I'm sure he knew that. So he could have made the fight on the 28th, but then that would conflict with Ramadan. So Turki and his team and, you know, the people who organized that, Shakur Stevenson, Schofield, Virgil Ortiz, Madrimov, stacked card, better be of Bevo too. They scheduled it just like a week before Ramadan is to start, as to not interfere with the holy month. So Devin is all over the place, which is what I've said. I think that's because of where he's at. Some people probably aren't touching him for different reasons. Stock dropped, want too much money, you name it. But I remain with what I've said in this video. There's no way you can identify being back in March if you get a fight with Riyadh season if you hadn't even taken the meeting yet, especially since Ramadan is during that month. And Devin Haney and his dad looking like the boy who cried wolf, right? Because Devin previously said he was back December 2024. December came and went, and he never came back. So why would you do this again? Like, that's why I said this new generation is terrible with that, particularly in boxing. You said last year at the Joshua Dubois fight, you were going to be back in December. December came, passed, elapsed, whatever. You didn't come back in 2024. Then you're prematurely, it's evident it's premature, saying you're back in March, but you haven't even obviously landed on what deal you're going to take for sure, or you're doing the last minute Hail Mary with Turki. Something is not making sense, because as I've said throughout this video, you can't confirm what Turki wants if you hadn't even sat with them to discuss, you know, what it was. And even if you did, like through text or Zoom calls, talk to Turki, I highly doubt that a Muslim man, an organizer, wanted to bring Devin Haney to Saudi Arabia or anywhere and do this Devin Haney fight card in the holy month of Ramadan. Devin's a Muslim, so I don't even know why he wants to fight during Ramadan, because that seems like almost like harder for you. It seems like more of a chore and more of a task. So I'm proving to you surgically that the Haneys, it's like they don't know their next move, and they're trying to convince the world like, hey, we got this under control. Ryan's fight didn't affect us, but you're suing Ryan saying that it did affect you. So we know that's a lie. The way you guys are scrambling, we know that's a lie. and you're trying to act like everything's figured out. So for me, and we'll see, as of me recording the video, Devin hasn't announced his fight. To me, what this stipulates is that Devin will fight on BLK Prime, which was always the plan, or after this sit down with Turki Al-Sheikh, I guess maybe Turki finds an opponent for him. In that event, I highly doubt that the fight will be in March. So either way, you're caught up. Because even if you struck a deal with Turki, I would be willing to put money that a Muslim man is not putting your fight anywhere, America, Saudi Arabia, UK, in March. I could be wrong, but I could be real right. So either way you slice it, I think ego will be right on one of those fronts. Either Devin next fight does turn out to be BLK Prime, or if he does have an option with Turki after their sit down, I doubt it's in March. Either way, you look crazy because you told the people you're coming back in December. Then you prematurely said you're coming back. I'll be back in March, and you didn't have it all sorted out. So Devin Haney's stock continues to slip and fall from grace. The Ryan Garcia fight did a number. I want to add, so the record shows, that Devin, in these media days and the interviews that I've seen in the UK are probably some of the most chill fans. Like, I feel like Americans are going to be more rude than the UK. That's basically what I'm getting at. And Devin just seemed like almost uncomfortable. He almost seemed uncomfortable, even though it was like non-threatening UK media that probably wasn't going to ask him nothing too crazy. And he was like real stuttering Stanley, stammering. He was saying after. He called his excellency, Turki, his ecstasy or your ecstasy. He was just like all over the place. And it sounded like almost like he was tense. These aren't good signs post Ryan Garcia. I'll leave y'all with that. But y'all got a lot of wires to uncross and make it make sense. So to recap, in this video, your boy Ego said the Ryan fight, the lawsuit, everything that's transpired since April 20th of last year has hurt Devin's stock. The Haney said I was lying, so explain how you can confirm that you're back in March, but then a week later, you're in the UK taking a meeting with Turki, and you hadn't discussed the particulars until Friday to see if you get. So you don't know your opponent, you don't know the date. Something with this is not jiving. So you guys got a lot of work. I've broken it down excellently, like only I know how to, because I'm the best in the business. And I told the Haneys to leave me alone, because now we're just going to get sharper and we're going to get more surgical. If you like it, you like it. If you love it, you love it. If you hate it, you hate it. Don't call me a liar, though. Don't say I'm not good at my job, because now we're going to do the real detective work and get down to the nitty gritty. Something is off and it stinks. So my theory is either you probably were going to take the BLK Prime deal, and then Devin being so thin-skinned, he heard people like laughing at him, like, aha, you go to BLK Prime. And then maybe they decided to explore or reach out to their buddy Turki to see if they can get something going there. But either way, no matter how you slice it, whether that exact theory is it or not, it doesn't make sense for you to have posted that you were coming back, like basically back in the ring in March, and post this all over your socials if you hadn't even done all the business to confirm that you were coming back in March. And it doesn't explain why BLK Prime did this, unless they were under the impression, see you March 2025 on BLK Prime. So either Devin really is still fighting on BLK Prime and him linking with Turki is like a ruse, or maybe a meeting for a future fight. Like, hey, I'm going to do this, knock this BLK Prime out, and then enjoy Ramadan, and then maybe we could do the TO fight after or something like that. We're going to see, and I can't wait. I literally cannot wait to see what's next from Devin Haney. We unpacked.